Merhaba, sinema dünyasındaki gelişmelerle tekrar karşınızdayız. Şimdi arkanıza yaslanın ve sinemanın keyfini çıkarın.
We shall go on to the end. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall never surrender.
Deneyimli yönetmen Joe Wright'ın yönetmenliğini üstlendiği Altın Küre 2018'de drama dalında en iyi erkek oyuncu adaylığı bulunan The Darkest Hour'un başrolünde Gary Oldman var. Winston Churchill'i canlandıran Gary Oldman rolü için muhteşem bir dönüşüm gerçekleştiriyor. Fiziksel ve mental yönden kendini oldukça zorluyor. Bu arada küçük bir dipnot. Prosuz gerçek bir Winston Churchill elde edemezsiniz diyen filmin yönetmeni Joe Wright, 30 milyon dolarlık bütçenin yalnızca 20 bin dolarını Gary Oldman'ın film boyunca içeceği prolar için harcadı. Oldman filmde kullandığı prolardan dolayı nikotin zehirlenmesi yaşadı. Gary Oldman'ın kariyerimde ölçüt olacak bir deneyim dediği Darkest Hour filminin yapım aşamasını izleyelim.
On the stroke of 9, the red light will come on and we shall go live to the nation.
I speak to you for the first time as Prime Minister.
Being given the opportunity to play Winston Churchill, coming every day and you go, I can't believe I'm so fortunate to be doing this.
We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be.
Gary more than delivered on this movie. He blew my mind on a very regular basis.
You have an enormous task ahead of you.
I only hope it's not too late.
Gary Oldman is really an actor's actor.
I couldn't imagine the transformation would be that extraordinary. Now go.
No.
Be
what?
yourself.
Gary is just such an actor that just transforms in every role. He's to the point where he's unrecognizable. It's like being in the room with Churchill, and I kind of have forgotten what Gary looks and sounds like.
It's uncanny. This is the closest I'll ever get to being in a room with Churchill. Are you not afraid?
Most terribly.
I completely forget Gary underneath. I can't really remember what he looks like, actually.
It's the genius of Gary Oldman, the dedication to his craft, and the hours and hours and hours of work that he has put in, that he is able to be so completely involved.
It's so exciting to be in a scene with him because it's so real and so bold.
For without victory, there can be no survival.
Dunkirk.
How many of our men are trapped?
All of them.
How long have they got if we don't rescue them?
We would need a miracle to get our men out.
Darkest Hour takes place during the first month of Winston Churchill's time as Prime Minister.
We're facing the annihilation of our army and imminent invasion.
You have an enormous task ahead of you.
I only hope it's not too late.
He single-handedly took on the most powerful and grotesque tyranny the world had ever seen.
We are looking at a collapse of Western Europe within the next few days.
Should the public be told?
Not yet.
Are you not afraid?
Most terribly.
There was an enormous amount of pressure for him to come to peace terms.
We must negotiate peace talks.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
Operation Dynamo waits on your command.
Initiate.
How many men will survive? This beautiful bond develops between Churchill and Elizabeth.
Courage. Miss Layton. Courage.
You have the full weight of the world on your shoulders. How he managed to kind of instill a sense of patriotism and a sense of pride in Britain was extraordinary.
If the worst came to pass.
Never! We shall go on to the end! We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall never surrender!
Hello, my name is Joe Wright, and I am the director of Darkest Hour. I really loved the script, but I was worried about whether I would actually go and see a movie about Churchill, and therefore whether anyone else would. Then when I thought about Gary playing the role, it occurred to me that I would definitely go and see Gary Oldman play Churchill. Winston Churchill was small. I find it really interesting that Hitler, Stalin and Churchill were all very small. He had a kind of dynamism, I think. He's often portrayed in other movies and TV things as being kind of slow and lugubrious and kind of obese. I don't think he was. He had fast little legs. He had a brain that worked at 500 miles an hour, and people found it very difficult to keep up with him. He led with his chin. He strode through the streets, through the war rooms, through Parliament with this kind of dynamic energy. Kazuhiro, the prosthetics makeup designer, was someone that Gary knew of and was keen on. I looked at his work and was very impressed, especially by his work in Looper, where he made Joseph Gordon-Levitt look like Bruce Willis. And I thought it was very subtle and kind of extraordinary. So I didn't really see Gary for about 3 months while we were shooting. I was just dealing with this actor who looked remarkably like Winston Churchill.
Let me see your true qualities, your courage.
My poor judgment.
Your lack of vanity.
Yeah, my iron will.
Your sense of humour.
Ho, ho, ho.
I think Gary really enjoyed being in the makeup and costume. He would dance and he would joke, and I think he enjoyed being quite fat. And sometimes I'd put on music, like I'd put on Major Laser's Bubble Butt, and Gary as Churchill would start twerking. I have it on video, but I'm not going to share that with you.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
I started making this movie before Brexit happened, before Trump happened, before we saw this rise in confidence of the far right. And so there was no topicality really to the movie when I embarked on making it. And then as we went into production, suddenly these terrifying events started happening, and the film took on a topicality. Be careful what you wish for, really. Do you know what I mean? I would rather that those things hadn't have happened and that the film had no topicality. And yet there was a kind of ghoulish fascination with what was going on. I'm embarrassed to admit that, though.
Sinemaskop'un sonuna geldik. Haftaya aynı gün ve saatte ekranlarınızda tekrar karşınızda olacağız. Sizleri sosyal medya hesaplarımıza da bekliyoruz. Hayatınızı uzun metrajlı yaşamanız dileğiyle sinemasız kalmayın, izlemediğiniz filmde kalmasın. Hoşçakalın.